Hello, everybody. If you can see us and hear us okay, please type llama in the chat. Let us know where you're viewing from today. As soon as we get a couple llamas, we can go ahead and get started. Can anyone hear us and see us? I don't think we're connected. We have comments in the chat on my phone, but not here. Let me answer this real quick. Let me get in touch with Marion and see what she can do for us. I don't know why. Sorry about this, Vanessa.
It's okay.
Trying to see what's going on here. It says we are live, but we are not.
Really?
I don't understand. I've never had this happen before.
Oh no.
Oh my God, somebody please answer me here. Oh, come on, somebody please help me here. I don't know why this is happening.
So you're contacting your team?
Happening.
Mm.
Oh dear.
So you're contacting
I
team?
think.
Happening. Mm.
Can everyone see us and hear us okay? Oh dear.
So you're contacting
I
team?
think.
Happening. Mm.
It finally connected. Okay, I'm sorry, everyone. On our end, it wasn't showing that it was active. Thank you so much for saying you could hear us. Thank you so much for bearing with us as we were struggling through this. All right, so I guess we can go ahead and get started. Hello, everybody. My name is Kitty, and we are here with Vanessa, who's going to make us very hungry as she shows us how she paints her food. So if you have questions, please put them in the chat in all capital letters. And if you have any questions that are relevant to what she's doing at the moment, we will address them at that time. If not, I will hold some of those answers until the end when we do our question and answer session. And also, we do have a Facebook group, and Vanessa is a part of that. So if you follow along today or you do this later and you post it on the group, she can take a look at it, make some comments, and give you feedback if you request it. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Vanessa, who's going to tell us more about what we're going to be doing today.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? I hope you can all hear me. I'm a bit worried about all those technical problems. But anyway, I'm Vanessa, and I am also known as Vansketcher on my Instagram page. And I'm from Hong Kong. It's 8 a.m. Hong Kong time, so it's pretty early for us. I don't know how many of you are from Hong Kong or from this part of the world, but anyway, good morning to those people. And to others from the rest of the world, good afternoon or good evening. A little bit about myself. I'm an urban sketcher, and I have been doing urban sketches for around 7 years. Back then, I was so crazy about, urban sketching. So I want to do sketches every day. I try to look for locations, look for a subject to sketch every day when I go to work. But eventually, I run out of subjects to sketch because I almost cover everywhere near my office. So I started to sketch my breakfast because I can have breakfast every day. And when I first started, I just do a croissant or a coffee, just like that. But eventually I started to, do the whole meal, and then include also the breakfast settings, the cafe settings into my sketch. So that's how I started to incorporate food into my urban sketches. And actually, I like keeping my sketches on my sketchbooks, so that these sketchbooks are like my journal that can document where I go, what I eat, where I eat, and everything like that. So now I think I can share with you some of my sketches from my sketchbooks, and I will share those that more related to, as food plus the restaurant settings. So now, here's one, which is my lunch sketch, and actually you can see that I draw the environment outside the window of the restaurant, and also include my lunch as well. And now, this is my breakfast sketch, and actually I draw the cafe counter, the guy making my coffee, my croissant, and also he treated me an extra piece of matcha cake. So I included it here. And also it's really nice that when you do these sketches, I like to include a menu into my sketch, especially those with the price, so that when you look back in your sketch, like 10, 20 years later, you will know how much you're paying for coffee back then. And now this is a dinner sketch, and this is a really popular restaurant in Hong Kong, always crowded, full of people. That's why I cannot really see much of the settings of the restaurant, so I included a lot of people there, and also my food. This is another one of my dinner, but this time we got set by the bar area, so I won't be seeing a lot of people, but instead of seeing a lot of wines, so I include the wines here together with my food. Now a few more. Okay, This is another sketch I done in a very nice restaurant settings. I like that because they have a lot of, they display the liqueur onto the wall, which is really nice. So I have that as my background, and then my dinner dishes as the foreground. And also sometimes I don't really color the background like this one. I keep the restaurant setting in line drawing, and then I just color my food. So this can make the food really stand out from my drawing. Okay, this is another one, also a dinner, but also I just keep the dinner place in black and white lines, and then just concentrate coloring my food, because sometimes you won't have enough time to color everything. So that's how I do it. And maybe I will show you some more recent ones. Now this one, I did it in a Japanese restaurant. So this is the chef preparing my plates, and then he served each plates one by one. So actually I got time to draw one and color one, and then the next one come. And interestingly, there's two couples sitting next to us, and they are talking about Netflix. They're talking about the drama that we're watching. So actually I wrote down what they said about that, and I think that's very interesting. And when I look back years later, I think I will remember this. So this is how I journalize my daily meal or my daily activities. And I'm sure when I look back, I will have a lot of good memories about that. And this is another breakfast sketch. And what I do is sometimes when I got blank spaces, I will put the business card there. Or if I got time, I will actually draw the logo and write the name of the restaurant there. So this is what I like to do. And actually, this would be something that I'm going to teach you for my 90 minutes mini workshop. And so I can show you what I'll be showing you in my 90 minutes workshop. This is the sketch that I will be showing you. That's around a month later for my mini workshop, and it's a full set of burger meal. I have my milkshake, my classic burger, and fries, and also with the background of the restaurant setting. So that will be my mini workshop. But for today, because we only got half an hour, so we can do something like that. But I have actually simplified a sketch that we can do it together. It will be this one here. And if you go to the Etchr link, I've actually put the a photograph of this here. So you should get a reference photo of this.
I'm going to go ahead and drop the link into the chat.
Yeah. And then I have actually did a line drawing for you. So if those who have downloaded this and actually printed this out, you can actually color together with me, or else you can just watch me and then you can color it later on. And I have completed the line drawing so that you don't need to do the lines and you can concentrate on the coloring. And that would be something that I hope I can do, complete the coloring in the next half an hour. So we'll get something like this. And also, actually, I have to do a sheet like that, which I will share with you on my Instagram and on Etchr link later on, which actually I have put down what are the steps and what are the colors I use for each different elements, so that if you want to go back and and follow these to color your this one later on. You can do that. So I will share this one with you later. And now I think I can start painting if you're all ready.
Great.
And just for your information, I have put down the colors here that I'll be using so that it's easier for you to reference what I'm painting onto my breakfast. And I'm sure I will be hungry after that.
We already have comments in the chat saying this is making
Oh,
me hungry.
now, okay, so I will just start, and if you got any question, just type it and Kitty will ask me. Now, I have only a few of these are mostly what I use when I do my restaurant sketch, and especially today because we are just coloring this, so I won't be using a lot of colors. Now, what I usually do first is actually I will put the base color in for all the elements, because you know the watercolor needs time to dry. So what I usually do is just put a layer of the base color first. And you know, when you put watercolor in, remember that the first stroke you put on must be the one which have more colors. So actually, I usually will start coloring areas wet, which actually will be darker in color. And when you go all the way, you can see the color will fade. So this will create some shades in your painting. And the first color I'm using now is actually the raw umber. Actually, you can see these colors are mostly used for my food sketches, because a lot of foods are in this range of colors. So this is buff titanium, raw sienna, raw umber, burnt orange, and gamboge nova. So I think this list of colors have been actually put on also the Etchr link as well.
Oh, and Vanessa, we do have a question. Yep. Do you start your sketch with pencil or pen first?
Now, that's a good question. I usually start, if I have more time, I usually start with a pencil, but the pencil lines will be very minimal. It might be just some circles, some outlines of where I want to put my food and where I want to have my like restaurant settings. It's more like to know the composition of my drawing, not in great details. I think this is more what I will show in my mini workshop as well when I started, how I start my drawing. I try to do very minimal line drawings with the pencil, because I find that it's quite repetitive, and it's sometimes it's a waste of time. I must say, sometimes if you paint it, if you draw it in ink straight away, it saves a lot of time. And don't worry that you will make like I know a lot of people would think that I will make a mistake, and I'm worried that I make a mistake. I do that too when I first started, but then eventually I found that after doing the pencil drawing, I overlay the pencil with my ink line, but then the ink line will be different from the pencil. You know, it's always in the end you find that the pencil doesn't really matter. It's the final line that really matters. So that's why I mostly just do pencil in a very minimal way. Now I have put a wash of the paint for my toast, and now I'm going to do the fruits. But you know, the issue is that be very careful when you put this base color, because sometimes the color will mix with the others. So especially when it's not dry. So sometimes I try to, you know, leave some white between different colors and let it dry first, or else the color will go into the other one and then it mix it all up. Now, like for, yeah.
I was just going to ask a question here, because I'm watching you do this, and I'm wondering this question too. How do you eat and sketch at the same time? I mean, you're eating your subject as you're going along.
I know. That's some I have been getting used to this. Like, now, firstly, I will usually do the restaurant settings while I wait for my food. So like I would do this when before the food arrive, and when the food arrive, now it depends. Sometimes if I'm sharing foods with my friends, then it's good that I can eat theirs. I can eat some of theirs first, and then I will draw mine. But if we're not sharing, or if there's only me who's actually having the food, then I will actually do a very quick line drawing and a very quick wash, just like what I did for this here. And then I might start eating. And before I add on the next layer, because I have the base color here, then the rest, actually, when I show you on my way, is actually adding more shades to it and more shadows to it, and that's where I can start eating. And especially if I order like toast or something that it comes in 2 pieces, I will eat 1 piece and then draw another one. Well, so there's some kind of when you work around this, when the more you do it, you will find ways to feed yourself while you draw. I find that I can do that, especially in breakfast. The thing I like is I can have my coffee first. I can drink my coffee, which is sometimes quite filling too, and I don't really need to finish the whole coffee, and I can still sketch my coffee. So that's why I like breakfast sketch. And actually, sharing food with friends is a good thing too when you want to sketch some food. And the good thing, if you got sketcher friends who like sketching, that would be the best. Then we will all just sketch without eating, or we will order extra to eat and then sketch. Now, what I tell you just now is that, like this here, I try not to touch the strawberry, the red, because I'm worried that it will get mixed up, and you need time to let them dry. And also, that's where you can start eating if you need to, you know, let your painting to dry. And usually I would take a picture of it, of course, just in case I want to check the shadows of it.
Here's another good question. Do people bother you while you're drawing, or do they give you some privacy?
I think a lot of them usually give me privacy when I sketch, but afterwards you will find that, oh, actually they're actually watching over you.
Right.
But they will leave you alone while you sketch, and then afterwards they will say, oh, can I take a picture? Or oh, that's really nice. But they won't bother me. And some nice, really good restaurant will just come and say, shall I heat up your food again for you?
I was wondering about that.
Yes, I got that too, which is very nice of them. And I feel bad, but yeah, some will do that. Like the one, the restaurant the cafe I went to, which I have my breakfast, and then they treat me another matcha cake. Actually, I'm quite full, but when they treat you an extra piece, you really need to, eat it and draw it. Now the fruits, it's actually now quite wet, so I think I will leave them a little bit to dry, and then while I leave them dry, I think I can add a bit more color to the toast, which I will use the raw umber plus the burnt orange, so that because then I can it will be darker in shade.
There's a comment in the chat saying, you should tell them draw your own food.
Okay. Well, yeah. That's good. Actually, next time I will do that. But it's really interesting. Some people are actually quite happy to just see you draw and watch you draw, especially when I draw in the cafe and a lot of people come in and order their coffee, and then you know that while they're waiting, they got something to do.
Right. Free entertainment.
Now I'm adding more shades to my bread, and I think the most important thing, for food sketches, or actually this could apply to like other sketches too, is the shade and shadows, because this actually give a more three-dimensional feel to the whole drawing. Okay, maybe I will add in the jam now. Sometimes I don't really have a very easy to follow steps on how I draw or what I draw, because different foods will be different. So it really depends on the food that you are drawing, and also it really depends on like now I find that the edge here is quite wet, so I don't want to touch it. Then I will maybe change to draw other area first. You know what I mean? I don't really have some very rigid steps that I must do this and I must draw from top left to bottom right. I would just jump jump from somewhere where I think, oh, this is dry now, I can do more on this one. Oh, this is dry now, I can paint here. So there's no specific ways that whether I color red first, or whether I color all the light color first. It's more to do with what's you are painting, and also depends on the colors that the way that they dry up. So now I think because this is quite wet here, so I will go back to the top and do this part. So I will add a little bit of shade to the cream here. So the more colors, the less pigment you pick, then the color will be lighter. The way I like using watercolor is that it's really quite fun. It depends how much water you use and how much pigments you pick, and then the colors will come out different. Now the edge of the toast is a little bit burnt, so I add in this. I wonder if anyone is actually painting together or just watching.
Yeah, let us know in the chat if you're following
Yeah.
along. And if you are following along, please do share with us on either Instagram or our Facebook group. I did put the tags into the chat.
Now, I must say that the Gamboge Nova is my favorite color for food sketching. This is the one. This like orangey yellow one. I will use it quite a lot, but maybe you won't really tell, because like this area here, sometimes I think it can brightens up the whole sketch, like especially on food drawing, because sometimes I draw the bread, I draw the fried food. All those food I can easily add some of it to highlight the places, which actually brings more life to the drawing. I feel that drawing actually brightens up instead of always using these raw sienna or raw umber. So I tend to like putting this somewhere just to brighten it up. So I can go back to the jam now.
So you're just adding in some shadow color there?
Yes, yes.
What color are you using to make the shadow?
Okay, this is also one of my best color. One of my favorite one is the moon glow.
Oh,
Yeah, the moon glow is as a little bit purplish and bluish purplish. That it's got a gradient of color there. So I like using this one quite a lot too. I use it to add to the shadows, and actually I use it to add shades to my food. Like if I want to add a little bit to the strawberry, it's really a nice color. It's too wet. Oh, sorry. Now I'm ruining my strawberry.
it just got a little blackberry juice on it. It's fine.
Yeah. And yeah, I like using this moon glow to be the shadow too. Maybe I can do it here. I must say that today yeah, because today Hong Kong is very wet. I told Kitty before we start, we have rain, it's gloomy, it's wet outside. So actually my paint are really wet today. The
And it looks
issue
like
with
somebody is sketching along with you.
good.
Yeah.
So I actually used, you can see that I use this moon glow to do also the edge of the plate to add the shadows or some shade to the plate. And if you use lots of water but very little pigment of the moon glow, it actually comes out like a very light shade here. Now let me see. So how's other going? How are those people, sketching along?
Let's see. Let's see.
Are they
Someone says,
handling?
enjoying Vanessa and her style and technique and how fun this is that I just purchased the upcoming course. Thank you.
Oh, the mini workshop?
Yay.
No, oh no, it's so wet. So what I do is actually after all these, the main color I put on, usually the next step I repeat and repeat. Actually, when it's dry a little bit more, then I will, for those part which is darker, I will add more color to it. So just to bring the light and shade a little more contrast to it, like the edge of this bread here. If you see from this here,
Oh, yeah.
this is a little bit burnt and here is a little bit burnt. So what I will do is actually I will add on more color. I will usually use the burnt orange maybe, and then plus a little bit moon glow to it so that it could be darker. And then all these shades here, I will just keep on adding the base color that I use, but I will pick up more pigment and then add to it, and then this will actually helps to make this drawing more how to say, more three-dimensional with the shade. So but the issue is that it's actually quite wet now. I'm worried that if I keep on adding colors, it will smudge a bit. But while I'm waiting it to dry, actually, Kitty,
Yes.
I can talk about my
perfect.
90 minutes workshop. Well,
Yes.
because I need them to dry a little bit more, then I can actually complete it with the shadows. So to make it more like this one, if you can see, this one is it have more contrast, because actually what I did is actually I would darker all these edges here and then add more shadow to the edge of the fruits. And this one, you can see that it is still a bit a fade, because I still need to add more dark lines or darker all these shadows area and also the fruits. But since I have to wait for it to dry, I think this is a good chance that I talk about my 90 minutes workshop.
Absolutely. So the 90-minute workshop is a step-by-step tutorial, and you'll dive a lot deeper into these techniques that you're learning today. And it's a really wonderful way to support Vanessa and her work as well. And on top of that, if you can't attend live, then you can always join later by watching the video, and that will be made available in a few days. And I'm going to hand it over to Vanessa again.
Okay, so I will show you again. This will be the sketch I'll be doing for my 90 minutes workshop. And actually, what I will show you is I will tell you how I do the line works. And then, as you know, we have the background, which is the interior of the restaurant, and also the food. So I will tell you, is there any difference in the line works I did for the food and for the background? Because the food is more organic, and the restaurant setting is like a more rigid settings, and actually you got this perspective. But for the food, it's different. These are more organic shape, the fries more organic shape. So I will tell you how I start doing the line work first, how I prepare the layout, as some have asked me whether I use my pencil to start sketching first. And this is how I will tell you how I plan the layout, and where I put the food, or where should the restaurant setting be. Does it matter, or is there any formula to that? I will tell you on that. And also on the painting side, I will show you what are the steps I use. And I use very basic step, and I do not mix color. I do not have a mixing plate, and I do not have that luxury in a restaurant to mix colors and to paint. So how do I do that? I just use this palette. I don't mix color, but um, how can I do all these colors without mixing it? So I will show you on that, and then you will have a very fulfilling meal in your stomach, and then a very satisfying drawing to bring back home after you attend my workshop. I hope that next time when you go to a restaurant, you will enjoy your meal. You can have time to eat, as well as bring back with you the meal and the restaurant setting, a drawing like this. So this will be what I will be sharing with you. So now I think let's finish up with this drawing here. Actually, while waiting for this to dry, sometimes what I would do is I would draw the logo of the restaurant as well. So this restaurant is called Bakehouse. It's actually also a very popular cafe, a bakery in Hong Kong. So what I will do is actually, if time allows and if I need to wait for the drawing to dry, I will include the name of the restaurant and its logo. And actually, during my mini workshop, I can also share with you more information or more tips on how to, put the logo or the restaurant name, etc., onto your drawing. There are a lot of other ways to do this. Sometimes you don't need to draw it, but I got a tips on how to cheat this, and it's really effective. I'm not going to tell you now, but
We do have a question in the chat. I'm hoping that this is what it means. What brand paints do you like? What are you using?
actually, I have a few brands I'm using. I use the Holbein, I use the Daniel Smith, and I use the Winsor & Newton. But frankly speaking, I don't really. I use them because I like. I just get the colors from them that I like. It's not because of the brand,
Right.
Every brand got their own colors, but it just happens that like the Moon Glow, Daniel Smith one is really good, but then Holbein got a very good Gamboge Nova. So it really depends on the colors I like rather than brand. Now, okay, back to this. I think, am I running out of time?
Oh, we're a little bit over, but that's okay.
Sorry.
No, we're fine. I mean, we got started a little late because of those technical difficulties, so we're gonna finish. We're gonna finish.
Yeah. I will complete this faster then. It's just that it's really wet today. Tell you what, I have timed myself in doing this one before the workshop, before this demo. I want to make sure that I can complete it in half an hour, which I did, but then today, I don't know why. And maybe I'm talking too much.
No, it's good.
Now, so very quickly, this is what I will just wash. If I'm running out of time, I will just treat it like the restaurant is actually chasing me to go. And or maybe I have an appointment, then I will just rush this a bit. And I don't know whether I've mentioned in the material list that I have this brown brush pen. I find it really good for doing the food drawing as well. So maybe if those who are joining the mini workshop, it would be good to get a brown brush pen, because especially for food drawing, I find it really good. I will show you why later on after I do all the shades here. I add all the shades here.
There's a comment in the chat saying that this has been great and very informative.
Okay, now also the plate. This is a very quick thing that I can do and finish up the drawing at the edge of the plate. And then what I mentioned about the brown brush pen is that it's really good if I use it to, you know, just outline a little bit of the edge of the bread, because it's brown, so it won't be too harsh, but then it's actually bring out the edge of the drawing. Just don't do it in a really continuous line, because that would be too hard, but do it like lightly on some of the areas to add in to just highlight or outline the shape a little bit more. And then also my lines are from the Lexington Grey. I'm using the Lexington Grey ink to do my lines, and I like this grey because it's not as hard as black ink, especially for food drawing as well. So you can have softer edges for your food, because as I said, food is like more organic. It's not like buildings, which you have really a hard edge. So I usually like to use this ink, and the final lines I did, it will be, you know, we'll be using the ink to actually add in the hard lines here. And I think then this is more like it. And finally, I haven't put into the list of paint, but because there's some pistachio on the plate, so actually if you got green, you can add a little bit just to highlight a little bit of put some pistachio on it, like here. So that's about it. And then if you got time, you can color the logo, which is in blue as well. So this will be about it. Once it dry more, actually, I will probably go through the lines again with some darker, with my Lexington Grey ink. I will post my final really completed ones on my Instagram again, but that's more or less my demo today. And actually, you can actually bring this home after your breakfast and then finish it off a little bit further at home. That is, sometimes I will do it like the final touches back home, and also write down what I eat Yeah, that's very important. I always write down what's this is, so that I remember what's the tape called. So that's my demo today, and I hope to see you in my mini workshop.
Great. All right, well, let's see if there are any questions. If you have any questions for Vanessa, please put them in the chat now. And in the meantime, I've dropped a link in for our feedback survey. We would love to hear about your experience with today's class so that we can keep bringing you content that you enjoy. And actually, Vanessa, I think we already answered this question, but somebody was asking about your travel kit, like what you bring with you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's my palette. It's very compact.
Yeah.
You can put this, and then it's like this size. Okay, so this is my paint. And then if I really going to travel light, I think that's more or less what I will bring.
Oh, wow.
So this is a bolder tip pen, and this is a finer tip pen. So the fine tip pen I would use to start off my outlines, and this bolder tip pen I will use to like complete the lines in the end. And this is my water brush. So this is what I carry around to, do all my watercolor. Oh, and also I think you need this, which is
Oh, yeah.
this is very important for when you use the water brush. So I will show you more in my mini workshop how I just handle, because I know a lot of people don't like using water brush. But as I said, I don't have the luxury in the restaurant to have the cup of water and then my paint palette and mixing all the colors. So I will carry light, and this will be what I will be using in the restaurant, which that's why I haven't got any complaint yet from any restaurant that I'm making a mess. But I will tell you how I handle just with this pen here, just one pen.
All right. There's a comment in the chat saying time for a snack.
Yes,
I think we're
time
all
for
with
my
you on that
breakfast.
one.
Time for my breakfast too. And my coffee. And next time when I see you, we'll be sketching lunch.
All right, everybody. I'm going to put the link to the 90-minute class into the chat again. And if you're wondering how to join, if you click on the link, you can go to the website and you can either join through our subscription, or you can also purchase the class individually. And we are offering a 7-day free trial of the subscription as well. So if you go to that link, it'll take you to all that information. And let's see, I'm not seeing any more questions coming in. So I think we can go ahead and wrap up. So Vanessa, thank you so much. This was a lot of
Thank
fun.
you. And thank you everyone for joining. I hope you enjoy it and have a good day.
And we do these free live demos several times a week. So please subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay up to date and be alerted to when we go live. We also have our Make More Art podcast, which is interviews with our artists that you can listen to while you're painting for some inspiration. And we also have product demonstrations and much more on this channel as well. And thank you everyone for watching today. And until we see you next time, make more art. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.